Well, hello guys. Today we will talk about the world building and some themes of One Piece. So let's start with the world building of One Piece. In One Piece world, we have many different kinds of island, a world government and more. However, One Piece world building wasn't as perfect as many people claim it to be. We could see how foolish the civilians and navy were. People with high morality like Garp or Kobe serve under noblemen through the navy, but as we know noblemen were often evil as they carried out genocide and sex trafficking on a large scale openly. The same goes for the civilians. They were cheering at the end of Marineford War, thinking that the government won, even though that the same government was carrying out mass sex trafficking openly on their island. It makes sense if some evil character is working for the government. But a moral character like Garp siding with the world government and letting his grandson die makes no sense. Characters like Garp, Kobe, or anyone who cares about morality could join the revolutionary army and help them defeat Big Mom and Kaido with the assistance of Whitebeard and Shanks to create a free empire there. This would have been a greater help to humanity than anything else. Moreover, Emu and the world government allowing some pirates to rule a part of the earth doesn't make any sense, as world government was paranoid about their godlike figure and wouldn't let anyone plant the idea of rebellion in the civilians' mind. Yet they allowed 4 pirates to conquer a part of the earth, which would make people think that escaping this government rule is possible. Additionally, our revolutionary group could defeat these pirates and take their land, creating a free empire there. But for some reason, they didn't do shit. And also, we weren't shown how those noble families ruled over the world. We don't know how they controlled the countries, their culture, their beliefs, and the economy. I mean, even after Luffy freed them from the dictator, how are they gonna build an economy that will feed everyone, as these noble families would have done something to control the money supply? I mean, we just don't know anything about this world's economic, and how does the world market works in this world? Is there any fight between the islands to become more rich, or the whole market is controlled by the world government? We just don't know. And how are there still kings in this world, as there should be someone from the government or noble family who should rule all the place? I mean, we just don't know how the world government controls the world and what's the system. Mistborn had a similar plot, but they explained everything there. They explained how noble families and the tyrant ruled the world. Coming up next is the freedom theme of One Piece. First of all, One Piece presents a childish version of war where the whole crew makes it out alive after a battle. Even the weakest members, Nami and Usopp, defeat enemies much stronger than themselves, which makes his victories feel less earned. Stories like Guts from Berserk, Dororo from Dororo, Peter from Spider-Man, Mark from Invincible, Kelsier and Elend from Mistborn present the same theme in much more depth. And we can see how they can just end their misery by turning to the dark side, but they still continue to struggle. If Luffy is a good representation of freedom, then basically every main character like Goku, Benten, Ellen, Kelsier, Naruto, Asta, Dororo and Doraemon is also a good representation of freedom, as they have all freed many people. And as I said, it has a very basic view of freedom. For instance, the Mistborn series explores how even after freeing a land from a dictator, there will be a civil war because of the vacuum of power, different ethnicities, ideologies, and people. It shows how they build democracy, and even democracy has its flaws. It showed how absolute freedom doesn't exist. One Piece doesn't explore themes in that depth, as we can see how it never shows that monarchy is also a very autocratic structure, or how the king is handling the economy after freedom so that no one goes hungry. So that's it for today. Tell me your thoughts in the comments.